And now getting to the second part, which is what I was really fascinated about even the first time when I spoke with you. I just thought, I have to see Dr. Lesley because I need a past life reading. That's something that, we're all interested in. We always are curious about, the present life, where am I going? But the past life just gives you goosebumps, who was I? I kind of wondered if I was Cleopatra or, some great person. I think that's the first place where we go. So I have to share with the viewers that I had a reading done, and it was just absolutely fascinating. And tell us, Dr. Lesley, what is it like for you if you were to tell somebody about what is the process, where do you take people, or where do you go? What happens?
Yeah, so a past life reading is where somebody like me, who's an experienced clairvoyant, is able to give you information about your past lives. Mm-hmm. And the way that I do it is I enter a different state of consciousness, called a trance actually.
Right.
But as you experienced by having the reading from me, I didn't appear strange or like you might have. I just was exactly like I am now.
Yes.
But it's actually a slightly different state of consciousness that allows me to really activate and tune into my subtle senses, my clairvoyance, my clairaudience, my claircognizance, my, you name it. And basically, for me, what I do is I'm able to actually see your past lives. It's like I'm watching a television program.
Wow.
A multi-sensory television program. So I can see who you were, what you looked like, and what you were doing, and who you were with. And I can also sense what was going on for you on a psychological level as well. What the main things that were going on in your life and what you were learning from those things that were going on in your life.
Right. And you're able to go as far back as possible as time?
I am, and I find that most of the clients I see are actually quite old souls.
Yeah.
And so as we know with you, we went back to the very beginning of souls incarnating on Earth is where you started out.
How long is a typical session?
So a typical session could be anywhere from half an hour to an hour. And, half an hour is actually long enough for me to go into 3 past lives.
Right. And then if people have questions, they can ask those questions of you. And then you do a recording that you give to your clients?
That's right. So you get a recording so that you can listen to the reading again.
Right.
And we probably should mention that, of course, the focus of these readings is not necessarily just for entertainment. It's actually, what will come up on the whole in a past life reading for somebody is an experience that they had in a past life that's completely relevant to their current life and helps them understand their current life and their current life challenges from a different and broader perspective. The other thing that will often happen is somebody who's making a decision, maybe about their career or something like that, and we'll get past lives that come up that bring forward skills and abilities that they've already developed on a soul level, that help them have the confidence to move forward in this life, because they can see that they already have done what they're hoping to do now.
Well, that's what I found interesting when you told me about focus, because that's something that somebody else had told me a few years ago, where they I think it was a tarot card and they said that's something that was coming up, and I know that I do lack that, because I go all over the place and there's a lot of things I want to do. So that those things were absolutely helpful and kind of resonated with me, that I've heard that before, I've been told that before. Yes. And now you also do other things. You were telling me about something around psychic readings, is it? Or what exactly do you do?
So I was telling you about another reading that I do, and it's called a Psychic Ability Blueprint. And the idea behind this reading is everybody has a soul purpose. Everybody has a reason for being here this lifetime.
Right.
And in order to help them fulfill that purpose, they have, I call it their psychic ability blueprint. It's kind of like a tool belt of psychic abilities, because on a soul level you have all of these amazing gifts, but it doesn't make sense to necessarily bring all of them in any one lifetime. And I'll give you an example. There are not many people today with telekinesis, which is the power to move objects with their hands. There have been times on the planet where that was more common, but it isn't today. So most people don't bring that tool in their toolbox. It's not necessary. But there are other ones that are, such as clairvoyance, your ability to see the truth as spirit, or clairsentience, your ability to tune into the emotional levels within your own body and of other people. Those are quite common ones. And so what this reading is it's like a chart, almost like your astrological chart, except what we're looking at is your profile, your unique profile of psychic abilities. When you were born, what did you put in your toolkit and why? How were you intending to use those gifts to support you in achieving your life purpose? And then we fast forward to today and we do the exact same profile but in present time. And then we look at the difference between the two. And what I find with most people is, just as we were talking about here and the purpose for writing this book, is that most people have turned down their intuitive abilities and have forgotten about them. And so we're able to see by comparing these two readings, which ones did you turn down? How much did you turn them down? And then we can explore why. You know, what happened to you in your childhood or whenever it was that caused you to say it's not safe for me to do that, or I have to do my schoolwork and focus on my intellect, or whatever it was. And then that's the first step then to helping somebody to reclaim and reactivate these intuitive abilities.
And what are some of the typical things that you suggest? How can people reclaim those psychic abilities?
So two things. One, many of the techniques that will help you to do that are actually in this book.
Okay.
So centering, you will have got that far. That is helps you to activate your clairvoyance, because you're sitting in the center of your head and in the center of an energy center that's responsible for that psychic gift. So just by focusing your presence there, you start to activate it. And so by reading this book, it will give anyone a foundation in many of the elements to doing that. But the other work that I do is mentoring people and working with them once we've got their profile, to say, okay, now what can we do to help you in your particular circumstances, to clear out what's blocking you, and to teach you how now to start to use this gift again.
Awesome. So I have a lot of questions, but our time is fairly limited now. If people wanted to get in touch with you, how can they do that?
So you can go to themidastree.com if you're interested in the book, and you can go to drlesleyphillips.com, and I'll spell that DRLESLEYPHILLIPS for all of the other stuff. And actually, if you want to subscribe to my website, there are lots of freebies. So there are some free card readings if you become a subscriber, and you get a free 10-minute consultation to find out what your main psychic ability is.
Nice.
So if you've ever wondered, or you've ever thought, well, I think that, I might be clairaudient, or you've had interesting experiences that make you wonder about yourself, then take me up on that offer and have a free 10-minute consultation.
Absolutely. Well, thank you very much, Dr. Lesley. This was very enlightening and very fascinating. So I will be seeing more of you fairly soon, because I want to learn more about the psychic abilities, and oh goodness, the past life readings are just absolutely fascinating. So thank you very much for chatting with us.
Oh, my pleasure. Thank you so much, Sonia.